Hello everyone and welcome back to Weekend Cartoons Reviews. Sorry I didn't upload this video yesterday. A lot was going on, so unfortunately I couldn't record or nothing, and I was extremely tired. Like, I tried to fight my sleep to get this out, but I just couldn't. I just ended up just... So, without further ado, we're gonna review South Park Season 26. I know this review has been a long time coming. I've been meaning to get this review out, and I know I haven't been consistent with my reviews lately, but that's soon gonna change, and I'm gonna keep trying and trying. Just a lot's been going on in my life for me to record reviews in general, but I keep trying to post them, and just, if there's anything you guys want me to review, like I said, let me know. And I've been trying to keep up with everything, but it's been hard because Twitter isn't giving me notifications for what's coming out, and I don't really have sources for things, so... Okay, enough with the prologue and shit. Enough with me rambling on and on. Let's get to why you're all really here. South Park Season 26. So what did I think of South Park Season 26? I thought it was one of the most hilarious South Park seasons. Like, it is a substantial improvement from what came beforehand. You know? Like, Season 25 was good. You had the episode where Cartman was a real estate agent, and you had the episode where Randy kept going to jail and kept getting called a Karen. Those were funny. Those were fine, but... in my opinion... Season 26 was just so good. Like, they were ripping on everything, it seemed like, at the time. Like, everything was getting ripped on in some way. So... what do I mean by that? What do I mean by everything's getting ripped on? Well, like, the first episode, you had them ripping on Kanye West with fucking Cupid. Okay, the episode is about Cartman, like, it's Valentine's Day, and you have Kyle and Tolkien doing TikToks and shit like that. And then it's Valentine's Day, and then Cupid comes out and, like, there's brainwashing everybody to be Nazis and shit. It was so funny, and obviously, if you've been living under a rock, I'll explain this to those who've been living under a rock. I think, this Kanye West said some controversial things about Hollywood and Hitler and the Jews, like about the Jews running Hollywood, and of course there's that meme where Cartman spreads a rumor around saying that Kyle runs Hollywood. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. In my opinion. I'm not even going to justify that with a response, because repeating a derogatory slur, even for the purpose of refuting it, can make stupid people think it's valid. That line always gets me, it's so funny. But yeah, that's the first episode, and the second episode, they are ripping on someone who was part of the King and Queen of England, Harriet, and fuck, I forget the girl's name. It was like Mary or something. I forget their name. I forget her name, but like, they were ripping about how, they want privacy, but like, they go to all these interviews and shit, but they demand privacy. They were parodying that here. That's what they were parodying. It was such a brilliant satire between the two. That episode was so good as well. And Kyle's just bothered by the King and Queen. Of course, they changed it to Canada for whatever reason, but, like, I think they would have had more balls to this episode if they were to fucking change it to the UK instead of Canada. But I guess I could see why they did it, but because of Ike, it would make sense. Because of Ike being a Canadian. And yeah, I guess in some way it makes sense, and Kyle wants to work on his brand because of Butters, and the King and Queen also want to work on their brand, I suppose. And then, like, they rip on a lot of things about them, like, it's... like, there's a part of the episode where they fucking throw a golf ball at Kyle's window. And his friends get annoyed with him talking about the King and Queen. It's just so good, you know? And then this next episode, I'm going to talk about the third episode this season. I didn't really like it too much. It was the episode where they're talking about toilet paper companies and Randy getting a Japanese toilet. I didn't laugh all too much here. I thought it was okay, I guess. I thought it was just okay. Like, it wasn't... like, the ending was funny with Randy getting assassinated by one of the toilet paper company peoples. Like, he gets shot. He doesn't die, but he gets shot. Because who would kill off Randy Marsh, you know? And that was just kind of like... It was a good episode. It was... Okay, no, it wasn't good, but it was... Okay. It was just a fine line of... Okay. It was okay. And then the next episode after that, they're talking about ChatGPT. And I thought this was going to be my favorite episode of the season. And I was dead wrong. Because the one after this topped the ChatGPT one. And for this episode, Cartman had a point. Cartman had a fucking point. Even though he only said that to try not to get caught. And I know it's not deep or anything. It's South Park. You're not supposed to take anything seriously. Except for their... views. Like South Park, they display Trey and Matt Parker, Trey Stone. They like to share their views through South Park, basically, and it's funny. And ChatGPT, the episode's about Stan, like, just thumbing up Wendy's messages, and Stan isn't a very good communicator, so he gets Clyde to result to ChatGPT. And then all the boys, like Clyde, Butters, Cartman, and Stan, they all start using it for tests and everything, and Garrison starts using it for grading tests because of Ricky, and Garrison gets mad because he realizes that Rick is, using ChatGPT to text him, and anyone who uses that is a monster. And the ending was kind of a cop-out here. I'm gonna be honest, the ending was a bit of a cop-out, but it was funny. Because they had ChatGPT write the ending of the episode. As far as I know. And yeah, on to the next one where, God, this next one, they fucking do commentary on lazy people and how people don't want jobs because of the pandemic and how lazy this generation is going. I laughed really hard at this one. Like, this one was funny. And then where Cartman gets a job because at an ice cream store with Butters, and then Cartman leaves because of its mental health day. It's so absurd. It's South Park, and this is probably the most absurd episode this season. And then so Cartman has the brilliant idea of turning his house, which, as you know right now, for those of you who watched the previous season, is a hot dog. Those of you who know, it's a hot dog now. And so, yeah, Cartman manipulates Butters into having him share his money with him. So he could, you know, build a restaurant. And he does that, and it's called Dick and Balls, and Kenny is also working with him. It's so good. The episode is so good. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of this one, but I'll just say at the very end of the episode, Cartman gets his house back, and Cartman's a whiny bitch about it. Cartman's always been my favorite South Park character, though. He just always has been. I think he's a lot of people's favorites, too. I love South Park. And then the last episode, it's about how Garrison and Rick are taking a vacation down to Myrtle Beach, and Rick assures Garrison assures Rick, that he wasn't going to be rallying because of the president, because a question that's been asked for South Park for a while, when Trump goes back, if Trump goes back in office, will Trump be back? And they ended off saying that they don't know. They'll just wait for the future and see what happens. Which I like that. I can accept that, and it was funny seeing Garrison rally, and then they have a plot where, it's spring break, and Randy invites a bunch of random people over, but Stan and Tolkien only want to play their little game that's confusing, and that's been going on for a while, but Randy insists he does other things. And so we get an Andrew Tate cameo. It caught me so off guard, because I questioned throughout the whole episode if that was Andrew Tate. I mean, they use a different name. They use the name Alonzo something. I forget. But, like, holy shit. When I mentioned Romania, I just started laughing, because I was like, holy shit, that is Andrew Tate. And I just couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, overall, this South Park season was a great one. They definitely outdid themselves with this season, and I really look forward to the 2 specials this year on Paramount Plus. And, of course, I also look forward to the next season of South Park, which I guess is coming in February, and there's 6 episodes per season, which is kind of lame in my opinion. I want the usual 10. But, yeah, this season, awesome. Go check it out if you haven't. I don't think you need to watch previous South Parks to watch this season. So yeah, that's all. Bye, everyone.